Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Girish, heading the Department of Mechanical Engineering. Today's induction program is on behalf of Department of Mechanical Engineering. By the end of this induction, you people will be highlighted with respect to the interdisciplinary approach of mechanical engineering, the student personality development, and also the stress management in students. The engineers are supporting for the progressive development of the world, and in future also we do support for the evolution of the world. Okay. Engineering is itself an interdisciplinary in nature with innovative and creative solutions. As mechanical engineers, the contribution and also the involvement of mechanical engineering in a interdisciplinary approach will be explained to you people with examples by Dr. Shantala Madam, who is working as a professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering with a vast experience of around 25 years in industry and academia, will be highlighting you regarding these things.
Greetings. Welcome all the first year students of AMC Engineering College for the induction program. A person as engineer must be familiar with basics of physics, mathematics and logical reasoning. Mechanical engineering field demands keen observation of real-time problem and innovative solutions whose outcome is measured as quantity of end user. That's why the topic is what a mechanical engineer can do. Proud to be part of mechanical engineering fraternity. I'm Dr. Shantala from the Department of Mechanical Engineering, AMC Engineering College, Bangalore. Once again, welcome you all to the induction program. Mechanical engineering is an amazing field which covers almost everything under the sun. That's why I have put a symbol of doom, which is inclusive of all the other engineering field. Our human body have got so many reflexes and reactions, which happens to be due to the energy intake, and it's a continuous process from a birth of child to death. I meant to say our human body itself has so many mechanisms. The same can be installed in a non-living thing, which itself is nothing but mechanical science. Here, if you take an example, anything made by human, if it moves, it belongs to mechanical engineering. If it is used to make something as a product, again it is belonging to a mechanical engineering discipline. If it is related to transfer of energy, again it is related to mechanical engineering. Look around you, you can identify the mechanical engineer's role. In our day-to-day life, we use so many engineering products without knowing the uncertainty of hardship spent on these products. If we try to question how it is made, we can understand the diversity of the engineering application. If we take a look at a phone, it has multiple operations performed on the same gadget, and those operations are made tangible by various manufacturing processes. Phone is a logical device, it is an electronic device, it is a mechanical device. Again, it obeys laws of physics in receiving and transmitting signals. The same thing can be applied to many other products like laptop, our mouse, maybe a TV, a sofa, or a cup. We make use of cup in our day-to-day life. To make a cup again, we need a mechanical device. Simple to complex products are done by mechanical engineering. If you like to solve equations, physics, maths, mechanical engineering has it. If you like to build a stuff with your hand, yes you can. If you like to work at computer, it is possible. If you like to work at machines, structures or electrical machines, again it is possible in mechanical engineering. If you like to work on materials or electronics materials or a chemistry related, yes, again it is included in mechanical engineering. If you like to write a code, yes, it is possible. If you like design, mechanical engineering is creative. To sum it up, if you like to make an impact, mechanical engineer has got you covered. I have mentioned names of some of the renowned companies which has major role of mechanical engineers. I have mentioned companies such as NASA, Boeing, GE Aviation, Lockheed Martin Corporation, Microsoft, Google, Apple, Ford Motor Company, Walt Disney Company. You may be wondering, mechanical engineers in software giants, data centers, if it works for long and hard, either it slows down or it stops working. If the system is not kept in optimum temperature, then the system doesn't work. The web interface slows down, which you may have faced in your laptop or desktop. You need a hardware which is foolproof with enhanced cooling system as well as robust hardware. Again, whenever I say hardware, that is related to mechanical engineers. Again, I've taken Walt Disney Company. It's an entertainment sector. Why a mechanical engineer is in an entertainment sector? Look at this. Is coined as an imaginers, mechanical engineers that are employed or challenged with using their imaginations to think outside of the box and create entirely unique entertainment experiences. An example of this type of mechanical engineering can be found in the operation of many animatronic figures on display throughout the Walt Disney theme parks. Robotics and mechanical engineers. Robotics started with the concept of continuing manufacturing in hazardous environment, maybe in nuclear or chemical industries. It may be in an unmanned condition. This is how the robotics evolved. As technology advanced, interdisciplinary branches tied up together for one application. You can see in this figure robotic arm performing one operation. To perform that operation, multidisciplinary facets are brought together with mechanical engineering as core physical makeup. To make the robotic happen in real time, mechanical engineers acquires and applies mechanics, materials engineering, manufacturing sciences, which are central to understanding how the robotic works and made. Here I have mentioned aeronautical, aerospace, astrospace, which are specialized field of mechanical engineering. Aeronautical relates to aeroplanes, fighter jets, which are within the Earth atmosphere. Aerospace includes rockets, satellites, which are operated above stratosphere. Astrospace, an example is Hubble's telescope. Vehicles which are used to study the astronomy of galaxy again fall under this category. To make all these products happen, mechanical engineering is required and certain set of standard operating procedures followed are designing, analyzing the designed plan, running simulation, establish operating standards for product, developing prototypes. Again, these prototypes are tested before it is made as product. Of course, the slide covers aeronautical, aerospace and astrospace. Mechatronics and mechanical engineering. Here is a Venn diagram. Mechatronics is a branch which is a combination of mechanical, electrical, electronics and computer science too. You can see a system here which has a mechanical, a microprocessor which has again a relation with the sensor, amplifiers, actuators. It's nothing but a mechanical electronics device. If a piano has to be automated with the exact notes as the output, we can make a prototype of finger robo, which can press as well as traverse along the length. Operation of finger is mechanical. The operation is controlled and actuated by the electrical signal. These signals are generated by the microprocessor and these microprocessors are again coded with a set of operations. Here again I have shown a mechanical, electrical and electronics interface for a mechatronics device. Electrical engineering, power sectors and mechanical engineering. Any industry to operate needs electricity. On Earth, electricity is generated using conventional and non-conventional sources of Earth. To generate power from these materials, a combined system of mechanical and electrical is must. Dams, turbines, windmills, solar cells, tidal actuators, these are the mechanical systems incorporated along with AC or DC generators, amplifiers, transformers, which are considered as electrical device. But in reality, electricity itself is not a physical quantity. Mechanical devices are the carriers of electricity. You can see a generator here. If you look at it, you can make out that it's all a mechanical component. And here I have shown a power grid, which is energy storage technology, has a relationship with or integral part of mechanical engineering. Here we are with the structural and mechanical engineers. Any workspace and living space is prominent importance. Any structure will be subjected to force, maybe due to gravity or forces acted by atmosphere or force due to self-weight or maybe due to external disturbances. The rigidity, stability of the structure has to be clearly analyzed before any actual construction, which makes the entire process cost efficient. Mechanical engineers will be able to build and design a 3D model of the structure, apply the forces to it at various points which are within the factor of safety and analyze for any faulty areas. Here we have shown some structures, maybe a building, maybe a beam structure. It's again a building structure. Artificial intelligence and mechanical engineering. Artificial intelligence can result in early detection and diagnosis of faults in any mechanical system. It's a recent branch of engineering. If a machine is made to learn on itself, we call it as machine learning. And if the same machine, after acquiring intelligence, performs the required operation, it is termed to be an artificially intelligent. An example of artificial intelligence is Alexa. To assemble the products or components of Alexa, it has to be manufactured. Obviously, it belongs to a mechanical engineer. Here we are with the biomedical field and mechanical engineers. Any human being may require some precision surgeries, so the entire system needs to be sophisticated here. To achieve this, we combine robotics, mechatronics, image processing, and mechanical system. A display of a prototype biomedical device which is used for multiple operations at multiple points with high accuracy. Till now, we had gone through some of the applications where mechanical engineering plays vital role. Now let us see what is that applied science required by a mechanical engineer. Mechanics, it deals with motion and force. The force may be related to static or it may be related to dynamics. It provides the knowledge of force and its outcome when applied on external body with relevance to any matter on earth may be solid, may be fluid or matter in space. We can analyze the relevant motions. Here I have displayed some mechanisms which are related to mechanics. Say for example, two solids here, gears, which are in mesh with each other, transfers motion from one point to another. Here again, it's a solid to solid interaction, a motion transfer. Here it is fluid to solid motion transfer. In this case, it is the interaction of the gravity force of the object in space with the earth. Thermodynamics. Several materials on earth possess huge amount of energy which is liberated with the interaction of heat. Science which relates energy and its useful work is broadly termed as thermodynamics. Here, IC engine is displayed, which is a mechanical device, internal combustion engine. The purpose of this device is to extract work from the fluid, which is nothing but a fuel. Design and analysis, a core science related to mechanical. Design has two important aspects, stability of the product and lucrative aspect. It should be good and look good. Both aspects all of you prefer. Here comes the design aspect. From a simple to sophisticated product, design and analysis is required which can reduce huge cost compared to trial and error method. To accomplish this, several mechanical softwares are used as analytical tools. Materials, again, a core science related to mechanical engineering. Material may be a general material, it may be a metal, it may be a polymer, it may be a ceramic, a composite material which is a combination of two materials, it may be a smart material, may be related to micro and macro level. We have seen from Stone Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age, and in the Iron Age, many of the cast iron products from the olden days are replaced with stainless steel, and stainless steels nowadays are replaced with carbon fiber composite. Here I have displayed some of the materials. A smart material, which is nothing but a shape memory alloy, a distorted pin, when I put into a fluid of particular temperature, it gets back its original shape. Here, a touch screen which acts like a capacitor or a resistor, which converts analogous signal into digital signal. A Gorilla Glass, which is a scratch resistant and durable glass. You might have seen carbon fiber spoilers, which are like a turbulence or drag reducer, a microprocessor, an electronics component with millions of transistors, resistors, diodes on a single chip. There are nanomaterials. Diesel exhaust particles are also nanomaterials. Fullerenes, these are used in biomedicals. Nanotubes used in structural applications. Dendrimers, they are again used in medical applications. Quantum data, they are used as carriers of electrons. They are also used in applications like solar cells, fluorescence, biological applications, and composite. Manufacturing is a vast field which is used for making product from raw material. Manufacturing includes the production of simple to any domestic appliances to complex products. Manufacturing involves many subsets like machining, joining, forming, casting. Here I have shown a domestic appliance and an assembly line of an iPhone. An advanced manufacturing technology is related to 3D printing or additive manufacturing. It's a precise manufacturing process which can be tailor-made for any product. 3D printing or additive manufacturing produces 3D object from digital 3D model or print. Finally, Mechanical engineering is all about movement, is the application of science and technology to solve real world problems through the manipulation of moving parts. Engineering is problem solving. There are problems in every field, so if you like to solve problems, you would never be bored in engineering. Creativity translates to innovation in engineering, which again says that if you are creative, you will have ample opportunities for creativity in every field. None of these fields is saturated, especially when it comes to technology. Thank you.
Engineering is not just a tag, it's a way of living. The process of molding you all for the next 4 years will not just give you a degree, rather than it gives you a personality. Personality is the representation of your experience and the acquired knowledge. The current life you go through becomes tomorrow's experience, and hence every moment of you counts. Dr. Solemuthu, Professor of Mechanical Engineering Department, who has vast experience in teaching of about 20 years, will be highlighting you people regarding the importance of a student's personality development in everyday life.
Good morning to all of you. On behalf of Department of Mechanical Engineering, I welcome you all for a 30 minutes presentation on a very attractive title. I'm going to present you people. Welcome to Department of Mechanical Engineering, AMC Engineering College, Bengaluru. Next slide, madam. See, today I'm going to present you very important. It is an essential topic for your lifetime period. The topic is students' personality development. Of course, this topic will be very much useful for the present academic year 2020-21 first year students through first year students induction program. I'm taking a presentation on students' personality development. Myself, Dr. C. Solemuthu, working as a professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, AMC Engineering College, Bengaluru. Since 2016, I'm working here. So let me explain about personality. So two different definitions are available. First one is a relatively stable set of characteristics that influences an individual's behavior. And second definition gives that personality refers to factors inside people that explain their behavior. So now we are going to see what are the parameters are available in personality. Let me explain you one by one. See here, 3 facts to be considered when defining the personality. The first factor is individuals are unique. The second fact indicates that the individuals behave differentially in different situations. Finally, although individuals are unique and behave inconsistently across the situations, there is a considerable commonality in human behavior. See the personality development definition. It's the improvement of behavioral traits such as the communication skills, interpersonal relationships, attitude towards the life, and restoring our ethical activities. See, this slide gives the overall idea about today's presentation, students' personality development. There are 3 letters which I have represented by red color, A, S, K. Generally, the students, not only students, it is applicable for all. The easiest job in the world is ask. And toughest job or task is respond to the question. For example, I can ask you a number of questions. Say, can you state Newton's first law of motion? Can anyone say something about Newton's second law of motion? Can you state Newton's third law of motion? Or can anyone say something about Archimedes' principle? It is very easy to ask, but it is difficult to answer it. Like that, we have easiest task is ask. I would like to take this total presentation starts from ASK. A stands for attitude, S stands for skill, K stands for knowledge. Attitude, it's very interesting, I can say a character, behavioral activities for human being. So now this attitude, I had represented some summation like 1 plus 20 plus 20 plus 9 plus 20 plus 21 plus 4 plus 5. What it means? See, attitude, I can spell it like A, T, T, I, T, U, D, E. You know very well about our alphabets order, like A, B, C, D till X, Y, Z. There are 26 letters. I'm giving letter number 1 for A, B, 2, C, 3, D, 4. Like that, I can give the value for like X, Y, Z, say 24, 25, 26 respectively. Just we can see the the letters of attitude. A, I'm giving 1 value for A. T, 20. Another T, also 20. I, 9. T, again 20. U, 21. D and E, 4 and 5 respectively. Just you can add a sum of 1, 20, 20, 9, 20, 21, 4 and 5. The summation should be 100. So what is the conclusion of this attitude? Is attitude, it's the only word which contains 100 marks. That means if you have proper attitude, you will be succeeded in your life within short span of time. And number 2 is skill. Finally, knowledge. So now I'm going to show you a very simple video which I have taken from WhatsApp group. It helps you a lot how ASK will help you in your lifetime period.
Fork should fall down. It would not happen. I can take another matchstick. I'll try to burn it. The inside of the toothpick. Not two. Even if you take 20 matchsticks, it will not burn beyond that. If you observe carefully, the toothpick is balancing on the edge of the glass, which is not even 1 millimeter thick. Two heavy forks are balancing on that. This is most important to us. Your knowledge and skills are important. What is most important is the attitude which connects you to society and to organization. Among the three things that I have, glass, fork and toothpick. Toothpick is fragile, it can be burnt. That means in your life, your attitude is more tested than your knowledge and skills. If your attitude is firm, in spite of being burned several times, it will not drop your knowledge and skills. Please watch carefully. I slowly lift the glass up now. You can see. Still knowledge and skills are held together by the attitude. Now I push the attitude out. When I push the attitude out, the knowledge and skills also fall down. Therefore, the most important aspect in life for success is not the knowledge, not just the skills, it is the attitude a person carries. Ultimately, that holds him in difficult times and make him successful in good times.
I hope you understood the concept of ASK, attitude, skill, and knowledge. So if you see the outcome of this video, it gives the information about how helps you when you have only skill and knowledge. Assume that there is no attitude with you. So what happens? It is useless. Therefore, attitude, it looks like a triangle, and triangle basement is attitude, and left hand side portion skill, and right hand side portion it indicates knowledge. And of course, left hand side portion, right hand side portion is required, but provided the base attitude is very much required, so that the triangle you will be in position to complete it. See body language. In language, there are two different. Case number one, it is oral communication, that is called language. For example, I'm trying to explain something about students' personality development to you people. That is English I'm using here as a communicating language or general language or international language. So I am trying to say something, it is there in my mind. Through language or communication, I'm trying to communicate from mind to your end. Whereas the another one is body language. I could explain you by giving a very good example. So now through online mode, I'm like giving the presentation on students' personality development. So after 1 month or after 2 months, you are coming to our college. But now I may get the opportunity to present the same thing for you people. But now I'm asking you something. For example, are you really interested in attending today's program? I am asking you some questions now. Through offline mode, I'm telling you, conventional method, right? Few students may be in position to tell, yes, sir, I'm very much interested to attend the program. After completing the program, I may get some inputs from your end. Therefore, my personality will be improved. This is called oral response. Some students, they may like give by body language. For example, they may raise like the hand. That means, yes, sir, I'm interested to attend. This is called body language. So body language, it is non-verbal. At the same time, that has got a vital role. Look at the statement of the body language. A body language communicates much more than the words. In body language, signals are called leakages because you may try to tell something, but the truth will leak out visually. See here, this slide indicates that 3 E's, capital E's, are available when you say or when you talk about attitude. Say first E indicates environment. The second E indicates that experience. And third E indicates that education. Environment, that is situation. Experience, when you do something, you'll be gaining the knowledge. So when you do something, you'll be gaining some experience and as plus knowledge. Education, these 3 E's are required for our attitude. See, in attitude, there are two different phenomena. Number one is negative attitude. Number two is positive attitude. Negative attitude, we suppose like get it from our enemies especially. Generally, our enemies will have, what is the drawback of you? You just to try to get your, you can interact with your enemies and try to get your negative attitude and try to overcome your negative attitude by doing your work. See that. Or 5 points are available here. I will tell you, bitterness. Number two is resentment. And purposeless life, health, and high stress level for themselves and others. These are some keywords of your negative attitude. Let us say the benefits of the positive attitude. See, if you have very good attitude in you, the following will come automatically. See, increases the productivity. Number two, it cultivates teamwork. Assume that you are leading the team. If so, you must have the positive attitude. Then your subordinates will respect you. Number three, solves technical and non-technical problems, irrespective of the situations. Improves the quality. Makes healthy atmosphere. This is very much required when you are in open forum. And breeds loyalty. Increases the profits. Reduces the stress. This is very much required for students. See, now you are coming to the college after completing our COVID-19 pandemic situation. For first hour, you are attending, say 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Second hour, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Third hour, 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And fourth hour, 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. So morning, before lunch break, you are attending 4 hours. After lunch break, between 1 and 2, we have lunch break. After lunch break, you are going to attending laboratory, say 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. So forenoon, 4 hours. Afternoon, you are attending 3 hours. That means when you attend first hour, you will be relaxed. Mentally, you may get some relax in mind. So 10% load at the end of first hour, 10% load or pressure or stress you are accumulating in your mind. At the end of second hour, the 10% becomes 20%. At the end of third hour, 30%. At the end of fourth hour, 40%. After lunch break, again you are attending either lab or theory classes, say 5th hour, 6th hour, 7th hour. So what happens at the end of 7th hour, you are gradually accumulating your stress or pressure on your mind that need to be diluted, or else you will be having always stress in your mind that need to be reduced. If you have positive attitude, finally develops pleasing personality. You're supposed to please others. See, there are two things. The work can be extracted from the subordinates by pleasing, by applying pressure. By applying pleasing means we supposed to honor to your people. So the work will be done. Anyhow, your team leader is applying pleasing manner. When you apply pressure, the work can be done, but outcome, if you see your subordinates is not happy, that means you are applying pressure or stress. So the last 2 points, reduces stress and develops pleasing personality are very much required among the remaining positive attitude benefits points. See, motivation. This is very much required for human being, not only students. But now I'm taking the presentation for the benefit of the students. First is students' personality development, motivation. Few students may have some problems, either due to personal activities or due to official activities. They may have some problem in their mind. They may not be in position to concentrate on academics. So if so, what happens? You are accumulating your negative thoughts or your pressure or gradual increase of the stress. you are just adding all these things in your mind, what happens at last, you may not be in position to focus on your academics. So you may have some lacuna, a lack of interest in attending the classes. For those students, motivation is required. So here it is fortunate that in our campus, each department, some counselors are available in department wise. See, 10 students will be allotted to one faculty. That faculty is held responsible to motivate their students if required. See, one student is having some problem due to finance, or one student is having some problem due to discipline. So now we have counselors or motivators. The particular faculty will help you how you can overcome the problems. So motivation is required when you are in pathetic situation. See, the first point, inspiration is changing thinking and motivation is changing the action. Motivation is the driving force in our lives. It comes from a desire to succeed, pain or gain principle, and motivation is a spark. A motivation concept. A motivation comes from within the circle. It is a drive to satisfy an unsatisfied need. Finally, once a need satisfied, it's no longer a motivator. See, let us see, or let me explain about advantages or merits of motivation. It increases the employee's productivity. Please underline this point, is very much important or required. Productivity increases. Number two, it increases a favorable company image. It provides a means of satisfying employee needs. It helps boost group morale. And finally, it encourages discipline among the employees. See, discipline, it's very important or keywords for students' personality development. Communication. So as I said earlier, there are two different communications. Number one, oral communication. Number two is, I can say like this, verbal communication. Number two is non-verbal communication. Verbal communication means something is there in my mind. So I wanted to deliver my message through a Zoom meeting, online meeting to my students, first year students, academic year 2020-21. That is called communication. Say verbal. But non-verbal is nothing but just for symbolic representation. That is by body language. But body language I'm unable to use when I want to present the thing through online mode. Because in online mode, you are unable to see my face. Only people you could see. Whereas, assume that you are attending the class through offline mode. That means you are coming to the college campus. There I can use non-verbal communication. See, the transfer of information and understanding from one person to another person. This is what I said earlier. A bridge that a person can cross safely on their river of misunderstanding. So this is the example for communication. It is not what you say, but how you say that matters. Communication is an art and it is improved by sending or receiving the messages. Confirmation of their receipt is also essential. Interruption is returned by the receiver to the sender. So these are all the key points of the communication. Yeah, being a good listener, the following points need to be taken into account of it. So encourage the speaker. But now I'm a speaker, you are a listener. Okay, so being a good listener, what you are expecting or what you wanted to do. See, encourage the speaker. Number one. Number two is ask the questions. But now actually speaking, just I'm recording something and I'm presenting. After taking the record, the same record is going to display. Is going to give it to you through internet, that is mode. but you are attending a live presentation. If so, you can ask the question like, don't interrupt. That means don't disturb during the presentation, and don't change the topic. But I am telling something that is students' personality development. I am talking, and don't ask irrelevant question. For example, sir, can you state Newton's first law of motion? Or can you say something about the difference between mass and weight? Of course, it is technical doubts, but it is nowhere related to my topic. That is called don't change the topic. And number 5, show respect. See, it is required now, of course. You know very well about the respect now. I don't want to tell about it. Next point, we have pay attention and avoid distractions, disturbance that need to be avoided. When you listen something, your total focus should be on only on the presenter or presenter's topic. Don't deviate it. Be open-minded. Concentrate on the messages only and recognize the non-verbal communication. I told you non-verbal means body language, eye contact, and etc. etc. Yeah, this is called FAT, fat, and SLIM, slim. See, fat is nothing but F stands for fear and frustration, and A stands for anxiety and anger, and T stands for tension. So try to avoid the first 3, that is FAT. And at the same time, try to like enhance the following, like SLIM. S stands for self-confidence, L stands for love, I stands for initiative, and M stands for moderation. Yeah, what people worry about. So what I had done is, out of 100%, I had taken 5 different levels. The 40% weightage goes to things that never happen. And the 30% weightage goes to the things that can't change. And 12% weightage goes to needless worry about health. And 10% goes to pity and miscellaneous worry. Final, the 8% goes to real time problems. A SMART goal. To achieve the goal, the following SMART, SMART, is required. S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, and A stands for achievable, R stands for realistic, and T stands for time bound. See, the time bound is very much required for human being, not only for students. Time is time. But now the time is like morning 10 o'clock. The same 10 o'clock morning Thursday today date is 24th of like December 2020. You can't get it. So time is very precious. Kindly make a note of it, please. Setting the goals, there are 3 different categories. Number 1 is long-term goals, 3 to 5 years. Number 2 is short-term goals, 6 months to 1 year. And finally, immediate goals, at least 1 month or 30 days is required. See, long-term goals is nothing but within 3 to 5 years. But now 2020, you are admitting first year, 2020-21. Now 2021 to 2022, 22 to 23, 23 to 24. At the end of 2024, April, May, you will be in position to complete your BE degree. Right. After BE degree, that means 3 to 4 years. That means it lies between 3 and 4. That means long-term goal. What is your long-term goal? At the end of 2024, I must complete my BE degree. I'll be in position to join MS program in abroad university, say Alberta University in Canada. Or I want to join my MTech program in IIT Madras or IISc Bangalore. Or I must start like a new business to become an entrepreneur. That is your long-term goal. Fix it. Short-term goal, say 6 months to 1 year. Say at the end of 2022, that is next year. At least I must complete all theory and laboratory subjects with reasonable or decent percentage. That is our short-term goal. An immediate goal within 1 month. But now today date is 24th of December 2020. After 1 month, that means 24th of Jan 2021, I must gain at least 10% of technical knowledge from the faculty members. That is called immediate goals. Say goal settings requirements. See here 7 Ds are available. Say first D stands for desire. Second D stands for decision. Third one is direction. Fourth one, dedication. Fifth one, determination. Sixth D stands for discipline, and the last D stands for deadlines. Whatever you wanted to do, you do the work and fix a deadline, complete it. For that, we need desire, decision, direction, dedication, determination, discipline, and deadlines. You know, the 3 stages to turn your dream into the reality. Think your dream, visualize your dream, plan your dream. See, now, apart from our technical presentation, now I got some ideas. See, why don't you, that was my plan actually. Why don't you take some general presentation for the betterment of the students? So whatever I have taken the class, I spoke about goals. I spoke about attitude. I gave some tips about skill, knowledge, how attitude, skill, knowledge are required for a student. Then a little bit I covered some portion 7 Ds like desire, determination, or something like that. I explained to you. These are all the things. Just you try to collect all inputs and try to implement in the forthcoming days. Then your life will be better. I'm telling you. So students, I'm giving the last slide for today's presentation. Thank you very much, and try to take all the inputs, whatever I have given you through this presentation, Students Development Program, for your benefit. I have prepared, I'm giving you, try to add it in our life, and your life will be much more better. I wish you all the very best for all first year students for the academic year 2020-21, and wish you good luck. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Welcome back. During your 4 years of journey in engineering, you people will come across various multiple scenarios. There are probabilities of you people coming under stress. There is a well-known saying from the experienced people. They say that Indians work harder under pressure or under stress. Their ability to complete the task will be much more quicker when people are under stress during the work. So Dr. Srinivas, having an experience of around 25 years of both industry and teaching, will be highlighting you people, or else he will be giving an introduction to the world of stress in engineering students.
Dear students, welcome to AMC family. Myself, Dr. Srinivas S, Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, AMC Engineering College. Now we'll discuss what is stress. Stress is an inevitable part of life. Stress is a non-specific response of the body to a demanding situation. Stress can be defined as any type of change that causes physical, emotional, or psychological strain. Stress is your body's response to anything that requires attention or action. The point here, what we have to discuss is whether the stress is good or bad. So everyone experiences stress to some degree. The way you respond to stress, however, makes a big difference to your overall well-being. See, you consider in any engineering material, the stress is defined as force per cross-sectional area, force divided by cross-sectional area. When a material is subjected to external forces, it develops internal resisting force. The intensity of this internal resisting force is called as stress. So now what is stress in a material? See, I am trying to link stress in a material to the stress in a human being. For the same shape and size, developed stress is same in all materials. Similarly, for a given situation, every human being is subjected to same amount of stress. Whether he is a fatty person or lean person, whether he is intelligent or not intelligent, so average person, whatever it may be, the stress is same in each and every person. But how he responds is different. Now, but ability to withstand the same amount of stress is different for different materials. This means different materials fails or collapses at different stress levels. Similarly, for a given situation, every human being acts differently when subjected to stress. It is the ability of each person to overcome stress. Let us discuss the stress strain curve of a material. See, where we have shown some 1, 2, 3, 5 materials: plastic, cast iron, low carbon steel, medium carbon steel, high carbon steel. You can see plastic can withstand low amount of stress, whereas high carbon steel withstands high amount of stress. Similar to the material, each person ability to withstand stress is different. So here y-axis represents performance level for a given task, that is stress. Now, it is observed that different materials have different stress withstanding abilities. Any material in this universe withstands some amount of stress. Therefore, any person in this universe is able to withstand some amount of stress. Now the question is stress good or bad? The immediate feeling someone says is stress is bad. No, it is not. Stress is not bad. It is good only. So when it is good and when it is bad, we will discuss in detail. So feeling stress is perfectly normal, which means stress is key for survival. 3 key benefits of good stress are: good stress helps in adapting and coping with the situation. Good stress helps increase performance levels. Good stress encourages creativity. Now, good stress helps in adapting and coping with the situation. This means good constructive stress can enhance the ability of the immune system to respond and to be able to adapt to sudden changes in the situation. This stress response is the immediate unconscious pattern mobilization of energy and resources when faced with any demand. The heightened sense of alertness helps the individual cope with and get out of trouble. Optimal and well-balanced stress indicates that stress can increase blood levels of endorphins, which are naturally occurring morphine-like hormones associated with pain relief and feelings of positivity. Good stress helps increase performance levels. Here, good stress helps increase performance levels. It means a certain amount of good stress is necessary for optimal performance. So good stress can also be motivating to deal with deadlines. Stress tends to occur naturally, and this experience is essential to personal growth, change development, and performance at work and home. Now, good stress encourages creativity. Furthermore, this type of good stress is important for creativity. It can be a spur to look for a competitive edge and force people to change and come up with innovative ideas to solve the problem. Stress is channelized into a positive desire for change, which helps them correct problems and improve performance, thus benefiting them psychologically and emotionally. Is stress good or bad in student perspective? Let us think whether student says always, I am stressed so too much, I am stressed too much like that. But let us analyze what happens if the student stressed. For a student, feeling stressed will motivate him to get good grades by focusing on his or her assignments, tests, exams, etc. By enhancing memory, this means stress is beneficial at good. Therefore, stress is a performance indicator. Therefore, stress is a burst of energy that basically inspires one to set his or her goal. Stress can help to accomplish tasks more efficiently. Researchers believe that some stress can help to enhance the immune system. For instance, stress can improve how your heart works and protect your body from infection. Now, this is a graph is here, the performance versus stress. You can see it is a bell curve, like a normal distribution curve. You can see the center line, left-hand side, and center line, right-hand side. The center line, left-hand side, it's a good stress. And you can see the center line, the peak is there, no, where the slope is equal to 0. That is a maximum performance occurs at the center. It is good stress at peak. That is the optimal performance level. Whereas on the right-hand side, there is exhaustion, anxiety, panic, anger, and breakdown. This is bad stress. So too much low stress is also not good because you can say performance is very less. If the person becomes lazy, sleepy, like that. So we should always work at optimal levels of stress. Then only our performance is good. So you can see there is in the bottom x-axis, you can see too little stress, optimal stress, too much stress, burnout, like that. So we should always work at good stress at peak level. Performance is optimal. Okay. Now, when stress is bad, as discussed previously, stress withstanding ability varies from person to person. Hence, there will be limiting condition up to which he or she can withstand the stress. The ability to withstand stress and perform up to the expected level depends upon physiological, psychological, behavioral changes. Okay, it is reference to body, it's reference to mind, and it's reference to behavior. Now, coping with stress, usually two broad type of coping up with the stress. Number one, instrumental coping. Number two, emotional coping. In instrumental coping, a person focuses on the problem and tries to solve it. He focuses on the problem and tries to solve it on his own. This is instrumental coping. And in emotional coping, the focus is more on the feelings generated by the problem. Now, methods or techniques to reduce stress. See how we can reduce the stress levels, okay, to perform better, okay. When some person feels the stress level is bad, stress is bad, so what he should do? He should keep some methods or techniques to reduce the stress. It is eating healthy food, maintain diet, good exercise and relaxation, and self-control, behavioral self-control. In summary, stress is inevitable, very much needed to be alive and survive. If stress is not there, it is the indication the person is not alive. Okay. For a student, stress is a motivator to achieve good grades, name and fame. But for an employee, stress is a motivator to achieve increments and promotion. But too much of anything is bad. Hence, taking too much stress is detrimental to one's career and life. Stress can be reduced by following healthy diet, exercise, and self-control. Thank you.